Hello everyone, and welcome back to this playthrough of the Great Ace Attorney Trials. I'm Moth, as you already know. Before we actually jump back in, let's recap a little bit for what happened from last episode. So, main character of this, Ryunosuke. He's being put on trial for shooting someone, an Englishman. As we've learned through a little bit of the gameplay, Japan and England have just recently signed a treaty, and if, it's not going to be very good for Japan if an Englishman has been killed on their soil, and that was made as a comment via the, prosecution. See, I know my stuff. Prosecution made a comment that, it wouldn't be great if an Englishman was killed on Japanese soil. He was. I have a good feeling that our boy Ryunosuke is not guilty. Mainly, as they stated, there's a lot of peculiarities to this, and I'm questioning if it's a peculiarity in terms of I feel like he was set up. Something happened. He just, as we saw in the intro scene, he had the gun in his hand, but I have a lot of questions. I have a lot I'm questioning. But let's just get right back into the game. We'll learn things as we go. So, let's get back into it, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. From this scene, we're having a mini flashback. That's what was going on. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. Well, let's go say hello. So I went over to the professor's table. Aww, he's adorable. And I introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Oh. And I remember, whoa. You best shut up for a minute. I'm trying to speak. I remember, I was trying to say that Wilson was the name of Sherlock Holmes' sidekick. It's not, it's Watson. I was very stupid. I was very tired when I recorded that video. But anyway. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency! How did the Professor of Medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? He was shot. State before the court the case of death. Case of death? Cause of death. Fucking A, Moth. The cause of death. Well, obviously, that was, Ryunosuke. It's Kazuma again. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to stop having a moment every time I see him. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now. Oh, jeez. What's this? Postmortem report! Present!
Yes!
Yes! Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to a gunshot trauma. He hemorrhaged. He bled. Learn to read, you imbecile. That's the post-mortem report, I take it. You know, this is the dude, if anybody has not checked, has not watched the first one, I highly suggest that link to the first video will be in the description. But anyways, let's not get carried away. This dude, I don't like him. He's giving me bitch boy aura. Sorry, yes, that's right. The, post-mortem report. After death report. Autopsy report, if you will. In the West, see, he gets it. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. It's so pretty. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see! As long as I'm not going to be tested on this. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. Well, he suffered just one gunshot. Hang on, thinking of my anatomy. Heart's on the left side of the body. That's the right side. Yeah, the heart's under the left lung. Was it instantaneous though? Because if it's instantaneous, I have an issue. Yeah, so it was the entry point. I have so many questions. See, something's not adding up here. But then again, they haven't discussed it. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. Yeah, gunpowder is a big thing back then. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Well, yes and no. From what I've learned, you can have a lot of gunpowder residue the farther away, but with scorch marks, yes, it would need to be very close, because obviously as the bullet's traveling through the air, it kind of cools down because it's hot when it comes out of the barrel, because it is caused by an explosion. So yeah, this should be close range if it's leaving burn marks. Nod. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. So yeah. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. A photographic print that shows the victim. He was shot from the front of the chest and subsequently died. Well, he must have had to do a lot of internal bleeding for that to happen, because there is, I don't think there's any chance in hell that that bullet's gonna, I mean, it has happened, bullets have bounced around inside of the body, but I don't think it's gonna bounce from one side of the body, go dum 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 dum, all the way to the left, potentially pierce the heart and lung, and then do 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 all the way back to have an exit wound. If there is an exit wound on the back of the body in the same spot. It's just not gonna happen. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. So, okay, yeah, this is around the time period when photography is starting to become a relatively new concept. Very well. I'm satisfied with your answers. Thanks. Let us start the trial. Don't. I don't like you. Don't flip your sleeves at me, you fucking cow bitch. Certainly, Your Excellency. You seem like an ass kisser. So without further ado, in order to better appraise the court with the facts of the case, tink! The prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. Me. This is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. They have a counsel and a co-counsel for a reason. Ah, of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asugi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. You can have a co-counsel. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is this. Rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Don't... Okay. I feel like I'd be in Ryunosuke's shoes. If I'm in the middle of a murder trial that's going to determine my fate, and probably in this scenario, face a court-martial, or not court-martial, um, martial law. That's the word. If I'm gonna face martial law, I think I'd have a crazy look of bewilderment and cold sweats. Only if you rein in the crazy headband and the Only if you rein in that crazy headband and the control the cold stares first. Those aren't cold stares. Those are stares of love. I don't know. But yeah, that is a wild headband. It's just constantly flowing in non-existent wind. They don't have air conditioning back then. Whoop! It's the dude! Hi! Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Hey, you got manners. Of course. Satoru Hosonaga. Yeah, Hosonaga. Satoru Hosonaga. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. He's the waiter. I'm the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival. Carnival? Carnival? Carnival. I'm just gonna say Carnival, it seems right. You got tuberculosis. I don't know, I'm just making this up. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, I like you. Oh my goodness! Hosonaga, that innocent smile. Oh my goodness. You are just a little gumdrop. I love you. I totally didn't read that. It's fine. Well, it really, really should. As everyone knows, the capital southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. Stop tapping your bald ass frontal lobe with your fan. You look like a moron. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. Okay, so this is completely debunking my whole thought process from the previous episode that Japan was currently in isolation, as it had been for a while. Never mind. It's probably at the time period where tourists are very common. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants. An Occidental? Yeah, Occidental eatery? It's like occasional eatery. Occidental eatery 3 days ago. Nod. Understood. Hosonaga-san, will you kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident? You're too cute! At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the spring lawyer boy, please. You fucking bitch. Oh, perspiring? Maybe. But aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it, too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. Sorry, I dropped something. I feel like you have tuberculosis. It was when I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery. Ooh! Well, that startled me. If you couldn't tell. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Yes, I did. Hold on. Let me just clarify something there. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
Objection! That confirms my whole thought process that this dude has like a nasally voice. Oh, yeah. I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But... no. The next time you interrupt at an appropriate time, you will be penalized, defendant Naruhodo. No. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. Thanks, Kazuma. For now, we must just quickly listen to the witness. Quietly listen to the witness. Ugh. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man you see here in court today. Oh, sweet boy. Yes, without question. This is my headcanon that he has tuberculosis. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? Oh, he's so adorable. No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. If my theory is correct, I'm gonna wheeze. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello... A woman! There was a woman sitting opposite side him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Well, it's blinking for me to interject.
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table. Dear me, dear me. What are we going to do with you? You're a bitch. With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? Do I have the weird armband y'all have? No. But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? Ha-ha! Don't do the anime glass push-up. I can't see your eyes. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. Well, I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. A sketch of the establishment's layout, drawn by yourself, I presume. Well, now why... Well, never mind. As I was gonna say, why does this dude just casually have a drawing of the entire layout that he drew himself? But then again, how else are you gonna keep track of tables and stuff? That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, how can I tell that? Nod. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Maybe too conscientious. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. I was suspicious. Of course. Here you are. Something's off with it. Now I want to see and get my hands on it. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card is— Shut up! So, the court has now heard a precis of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. That's not right. It would seem we're looking at a black and white case here. Done! Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial. Thunk. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm gonna be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Don't give me that look. Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You've said it, Professor Mikotoba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. Don't give me that look. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing to throw that trust back in my face. Is that it? What? Nani? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? Hey, you know what? Maybe. Then battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. Jesus Christ! The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Bring it on! Then we'll see how decisive the evidence really is. Everybody's just freaking out. Indeed. Prosecutor Ayuchi. Ayuchi? Please continue with proceedings. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. Sir, you look like you're in your 40s and your 50s. You can just step into the grave already. You bitch. You know, many call me... I don't call you a saint. I call you a little punk ass. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. You threatening me in a court of law? The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Thunk. Very well, officer. Bring forth the witnesses at once. Bring them in! At once! Yo, what the fuck? Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. Oh, God. Ayesa Nosa? The Great Nippon... Yeah, because Nippon is Japan, I believe. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Ayesa Nosa reporting for duty, sir. Your mustache is weird. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the effluence of our nation, Nippon. Yeah, Nippon is Japan. And conduct my trade from Rasuti, a humble premises in the second district of Korikuta. I'm attempting. At your service. Korikuta. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other tables that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question. Always post-noon. So after 12. And not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curious with which I make my business. Oh, that sentence really got me confused. I can't understand that word, old man. That old man is saying. I can't understand myself. It's fine. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets Le Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of the most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative! I don't like you. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir! It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearms, sir! This man's as impossible to understand as the other. You're telling me. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yeah. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. I don't think anybody was looking at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Who's going to be actively watching a table to make sure something... Wait. Oh, maybe that's the thing. Oh, I don't know. Yes, sir. Was that a baby? Wait. Was that a baby? Did I hear a baby somewhere? Unsavory memories of a most... I can't even say that word. Afternoon. Witness testimony. What the witness saw. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a technical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At the precise moment, a firearm was discharged. There's a baby! What the fuck? Why am I hearing a baby? Do you have a baby on your back? Is that what the weird shit is about? I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. A black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. That looks like an entry wound, not an exit wound, because exit wounds are bigger than the entry wound. I was on my hands and knees investigating where the whereabouts of my mysteriously abandoned precious curio. So one saw it, one didn't. Well, you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. That... no. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! Is that what's on your back? Is there a baby on your back? Why do you have a knife? Hey, hold on. Hold the phone. Why do you have a knife? That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. Oh, it's an artifact of his. What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be isolated? Yeah, isolated in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes! All I did was pick up the gun that I saw laying on the floor. After I'd said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. And when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting, I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up... Whoa! Bang! Well, if that's the truth, there's obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witness testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is. Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witness. He's got a point. Well, I think I'm gonna end this one here. We're like 30 some odd minutes into this, so there's a lot of things going on, and I've got some theories. One, I want to know who that woman was that Ryunosuke remembers seeing there. Two, that waiter, why did he get panicked when he was told to give the his drawing of the restaurant to one of the court officers? That's a thing. 3, does that dude have a baby on his back? Because that's the only reason I'm hearing a baby. There's a lot of questions here. Hopefully they'll be answered in the next episode or so. But yeah, we're just gonna end this one here. If you like this video, please do give it a like. I really appreciate it. It helps me know that you guys actually kind of like this content. If you want to suggest a game, please leave a comment. I'll do my best to play it. I have some other games up in the making because obviously I want to continue playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. This one and the second one, because I didn't realize that this was a two game thing. But yeah, if there's anything you guys recommend, or if you want to leave a comment or have any suggestions, just go ahead and leave a comment. I'll do my best to answer. But I hope you guys enjoyed greatly, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay mothy, my friends.